What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we will be doing this question paper that you see here. Now this question paper, we'll be doing question 6 of this question paper, which is mathematics N3 2025. It was written March, which is the latest question paper that was written before the one that you're gonna write after here, right? So guys, before we start, I've already done question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the last question, which is question 6. If you want to watch those questions, you can go to the channel. Let me just show you guys. Come here. This is the channel, by the way, where we are streaming at the moment. And then you come to live, right? Click live there, and then you will see the questions that we are busy with. We've done question 5 earlier on. Here's question 3 and 4 there. Question 5, 3 and 4, right? Question 2, here's question 2 here. And question 1, it's underneath there, guys. Here's our question 1 there. So yeah, you can go to the live stream section or live section here, and then you watch the video that you want to watch. Okay, let's go back there. But before we go back there, we have this QR code, guys. This QR code, it's QR code for the WhatsApp group. If you want to join the WhatsApp group or channel, you scan this QR code. And also I'm going to leave a comment with a link of this QR code if you want to join it. This is where I share these links of live stream for N4, N3, and N5 live stream that I've done recently. All right, people, let's just go back to the question. Right, so here's our question paper here. So let's scroll to question 6. Yes, question 6. It's about trigonometry, guys. It's more about trigonometry. So just scroll, let's scroll. Here's our question 6 here, guys. Let me just zoom here. Okay, so let me take this question. Let me first align it. Let me align question 6, guys. Question 6, here is our question 6, guys. Right, so question 6, it has how many questions? It has this question 6 point, we have question 6.1, question 6.2. It's all trigonometry, guys, and question 6.3 and 4. Right, so let's start with question 6.1. Let me just zoom it very quickly. Now, question 6.1, they want us to use trigonometric identities to prove that the right hand side is the same as the left hand side. Oh, guys, let's see. Right, so I'm gonna zoom down, guys. 6.1, right? And let's zoom down, guys. Let's zoom down. Right, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna write it on the side there. So we have the following. This is identities, guys. I hope you can able to see, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you are live, you can comment on the live chat. If you are not watching live, you can also comment on the comment section there. Right, we have sine theta, right, plus cos theta. All this is divided by cosec theta plus sec theta, right? This is equaling to sine theta multiplied by cos theta. So we must prove that the left hand side is equaling to the right hand side. I always tell people that you must always choose the one that is most complicated. If you can look at this question here, the one that is seems to be more complicated, it's the left hand side. Is this one with fractions then? So the best thing that you can do here, guys, is to do the following. You have the following here. First, start by doing the following here, guys. You have sine, right, theta. I'm gonna choose, let me just do this so that people don't get confused. We choose the left hand side, so we're gonna write sine theta plus cos theta, right? All this, guys, is actually divided by, instead of writing this solid line here, I write the division, guys, right? All this is divided by sec, or cosec, I mean, divided by cosec theta plus sec theta, right? Are we still together? And then we leave these ones as they are, sine theta plus cos theta. We leave them as they are at the moment. And then here we have to change. Remember, guys, cosec theta is the same as 1 over sine. This is what you call the inverses, guys. So we can change cosec into 1 over sine theta plus, and then sec is the same as 1 over cos. There, right? So, guys, you can change this into 1 over cos theta, right, people? So far, that's how you're supposed to do this one. Now, we continue. We continue. As we continue there, this side, we're still gonna write it as it is. We still have sine theta, right, plus cos theta. There we go. And then we still divide like that, my good people, right? Let's divide. As we divide here, guys, we have to find LCD, right, for this one, because we have plus here, so we have different denominators, so we need to find the LCD. The minute you have a plus or minus there and you have different denominator, you must find LCD, guys. I hope we are all together. So the LCD is sine theta multiplied by cos theta. There we go. Now it's simple. Now you say sine cos theta divided by sine. What is it that you're going to be left with? You're going to be left with cos multiplied by this one there. And then you're going to have cos theta plus. And then we say sine theta multiplied by cos divided by cos. It's going to give you sine multiplied by this one. So that one is going to give us sine theta. I hope you guys can see. So I'm going to continue this side, guys, to avoid wasting space. So we still have this side, we do nothing, guys. We still have sine theta plus cos theta. You guys see? Now, instead of writing this division here, we change that into multiplication. Guys, when you change this into multiplication, these, they change, guys. Let me just, the numerator become the denominator become the numerator. Do not forget, it's a law that we use. When you change the sign, these ones, they change. So the numerator is sine, let me just close it, it's sine theta multiplied by cos theta. There we go. May not do this. And then all this is divided by, now the numerator, it was cos, right, theta plus sine theta, right? Since we have multiplication here, these, they can divide each other. Cos plus theta and cos plus theta, they can divide each other. Don't forget, here we have divide by 1, by the way, so that's why they can divide each other. So as they divide each other, we are left with sine theta multiplied by cos theta, this one here. You guys see, right? So as you can see, this is the same as that, sine theta cos theta, they are the same. So you can say, therefore, the right hand side is equaling to the left hand side. There we go, guys. This is how you do this one, just in case you didn't know. This is how you basically prove that the left hand side is equaling to the right hand side. I hope you guys understood. Remember, you can leave a comment in the comment section if you didn't understand. Also, if you are live, you can leave a comment on the live chat. Then if you're not live, then you can leave a comment in the comment section. Guys, do not forget to like, subscribe, and also share the channel to your friends, guys, who are doing the same subject, who don't know about these live streams. So we are done with 6.1. Let's look at 6.2. Now 6.2, they are asking us here, guys, to calculate the values of theta that will satisfy the equation for 0 degrees is less than or equaling to theta, but less than or oh guys, but theta less than 360 degrees. So basically here, this is the domain, guys. Your theta must be less than 0 degrees, must be greater than 0 degrees but less than 360, guys, right? That's basically what they mean by that, right? If tan is if tan theta minus 90 is equaling to 0 comma what is this 0 comma is equaling to 0 comma 4115. Okay, so this one was tricky, guys. I hope you were able to see how I explained this one. It was a bit tricky. It was a bit very tricky. So you are given, let's start here. You are given this equation, tan, right? It's theta minus 90 degrees. There we go. And then we say is equaling to 0 comma 4155 degrees, right? And then you are given the domain here, guys. I'm closing everything here. Remember, we need to find the values of theta here, guys. More than anything, we need to find the values of theta. So we are given the domain that our theta should be greater than 0 degrees but less than 360. So meaning it should be within all the quadrant, my good people, right? It should be all the quadrant. This is basically our theta supposed to be there, right? Now look, this here, it's 90 minus, you can rewrite like this. You can say tan, right, is negative 90, then plus theta, right? All this is equaling to 0 comma 415. This is very tricky, guys, but it's still fine. So you can say arctan, right? Take this tan to the other side, guys. Can we take tan to the other side? Say arctan. Okay, arctan is, we're gonna be left with negative 90 degrees plus theta, right? And then arctan, remember when you press arctan, guys, you press shift, then you press tan, 0 comma 415. And then here you're gonna be left with 90 degrees plus theta. And then let's see where it's let's see what is happening there. We're gonna have what do we have there, guys? What do we have? Arctan 0 comma 415, right? What do we have? It's gonna give us 22,538, right? 22,538 degrees, right? But we still have theta here. You can see theta, we're gonna take this 90 to the other side. It's gonna be positive, guys, right? So theta, it's 22,538 plus, right, plus 90. You guys agree? Plus 90. So this is gonna give us that, right? Let's see, what do you get here? Plus 90. So we're gonna have the angle, which is, what is our angle there, guys? It's gonna be 112,538. There we go. So this is one of the angles that theta is gonna be. Now to check, we can substitute this theta here, there on a calculator. Let me substitute. Let me see if I'm gonna get 0 comma 415, right? If you say tan, 112, right, comma, right, comma 538, right, minus 91. what do you get? Yes, I am getting that answer. Right. Okay, great. So that is how you're gonna get this one. Again, I think there is another one that you can do it. Let me double check. I think you can also say uh because this here, guys, what quadrant is this, by the way? What quadrant is this? This is quadrant. If you go backwards, let's go backwards. If you go backwards, 90 minus this is negative 90. So 90 plus is the fourth quadrant. Negative 90 plus theta, yes, is the fourth quadrant, right? So on this quadrant here, I think you can also say negative 90 minus 22. Let's see. If you say arc tan, right? If you say tan, negative 90 plus 22 comma 538. Okay, that's it should give us a positive answer. So let's look at this quadrant here, because this one here, it's happening on what quadrant is this, guys? This is greater than 180 but less than yes, this is greater than 180 plus this. Do we have any other value here, guys? But this here, guys, is correct, right? The other value, I think we can get it like this. Let me take it from here, because I think we have more than one value. We can get it like this. You have to change this into, let me just do this. You have to use the co-ratio method, the co-ratio rule here. So this is the fourth quadrant. So if we change this, it's going to be negative cot theta. There we go. And then minus or plus, by the way, sorry, plus 0 comma 415, right? And then I need to find another value, because it's not only one value here, guys. It's not only one value. We have two values, I think. So we multiply by negative throughout. If you multiply by negative throughout, we're gonna have cot, right, theta is equal to negative 0 comma 415. But we do not have cot on our calculator. We can say 1 over tan. Do you guys see? 1 over tan. There we go. There's gonna be minus 0 comma 415. But then we want to make tan subject to the formula here, tan theta. So we can cross multiply. We can say 1 is equal to negative 0 comma 415 tan theta. All right, so this is another value, guys. Then we divide by negative 0 comma 145. We do the very same thing here, negative 0 comma 145 tan, guys. I hope you guys not tan, just 145, right? So this negative 0 comma 415, they divide each other, and then you're gonna be left with, let me just erase here very quickly, guys. I don't want to create more space. Let me just erase here. So you're gonna be having the following. Obviously you're gonna be left with tan theta, and then what is 1 divided by negative 1 divided by negative 0 415. So we're gonna get the following. We're gonna get negative 2, right? Negative 2 comma 4, let's just negative 2 comma 41. Yes, let's do it this way, negative 2 comma 41. I hope you guys are still paying attention. And then when you're looking for this one here, we know that tan, remember, tan is negative on 2 quadrant. It's gonna be negative on the, it's gonna be negative on the second quadrant and the fourth quadrant. So we need to find the angles on the second quadrant and the fourth quadrant. So this one we already find on the second quadrant, so we need to find on the fourth quadrant, right? So what you need to do here, guys, is to find the reference angle. So we have to do this. We have to say arc tan, but rather put the angle, rather put this 2, not the negative, because we're looking for the ref, right? Rather make it to be positive. So if you say arc tan Arctan, let me see if this is gonna give us. Arctan is 2,41. There we go. And then we're gonna have 63. Right, let's do it. 67, I mean. So our reference angle here is gonna be 67, comma 4 5 6 5, right? But then our angle, it's negative. Tan is negative where here? Tan is negative on the second and the fourth quadrant. So how do we represent the fourth quadrant? It's 360 minus reference. So it's going to be 6 7 comma 4 6 5. There we go. Now 360 minus 6 7 comma 4 6 5. There we go. So another angle that is gonna give us, that is gonna be 200 202 comma 535 degrees, right? So let's see if this is correct. If we take this 292 comma 535 and substitute it there, here, will we get 0 comma 41? Let's see. 0 comma 41. Let's see if we're gonna get it. If we don't get it, meaning the second answer is not correct. So it's gonna be 292 comma 535 minus 90 degrees. All this there under. Yes, it is correct, guys. So our angles are these ones, right? So remember, they say we must find the values of thetas when we gonna get this here. So if we can take theta, or here's another one here. Let me just write here. So these two are the values of theta. This one here, let me highlight with red. Okay, this one here, this is the first one, and then that one there, this is the second one, right? If you can take these two and substitute them there on our original formula there, you will get this 0,415, both of them. So these are the values, guys. So these are the actual answers. I hope you managed to understand this, because this part here, that's where kind of get lost here. But yeah, this one is simple. It was straightforward, the first one. The second one required you to use the correlation rule to get the final answer, right? I hope people you managed to understand this. This was a bit challenging, to be honest with you. This doesn't seem like N3, man. It seems like N6, N5 type of a problem. They are very challenging. But anyway, I assume everyone managed to get this one, right? If you didn't get it, it's fine, people. At least I've made a video on it, right? Don't forget to like, share, comment, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, right? You can ask a question on the comment section if you're not live. If you're live, you can ask on the chat there. Right, let's look at 6.3. We are done with 6.2, guys. Let's look at 6.3. 6.3 is zoom there. All right, so 6.3, let me show you what is happening there. 6.3, we have the figure, which is figure 4. They say in figure 4, MN and O. So MN and O are points in the same plane. So M is M. Let me use the red color, right? M, N, and O. They say there are points which are in the same plane, guys, right? And then they say MP, MP is this point here. They say is the flagpole of 6 meters. As you can see, we have 6 meters there, right? It's a flagpole. That's where they put a flag. I assume when they say flagpole, this is what they mean, guys. You put the flag there. And then OP is our O. There's a P there. OP, it's 10,4 meters. So here's 10,4 meters there. So between this, the distance between O and P is 10,4 meters. And then we have angle OPN, which is 123. So the angle OPN, which is this one here, guys, right? let's say it's 123 degrees or 123 degrees, right? Okay, so let's see. And then they say, and the angle of elevation of n to m, so this is n to m, it is what? 50. Here we go then, 50 degrees, right? So this is the information that is given to us. Let's look at the questions that they have for us then. Right, let me just scroll down so that you don't get confused, guys. I hope you can understand what's happening here, because this chapter, man, it's quite challenging, but not really that challenging. It requires you guys to pay attention to your trigonometry. Right, let's look at this. They say calculate the length of pn, right? So p, here's our p here, and here's our n there. So they want you to calculate this length here from p to n. Basically, that's what they want. Now let me just erase this. Now if you can look at this triangle here, I'm gonna highlight with red, guys. Okay, and I highlight it with red, right? There we go. I hope you can see this triangle here, guys. It's a right angle triangle. Do you see? I'm highlighting it. It's a right angle triangle, guys. It has right angle there. So meaning whenever you have a triangle which is a right angle triangle, you can use the Pythagoras theorem, or theorem of Pythagoras. So I'm just gonna write it on the side here. Remember, they say we must calculate this length here. Let me just use black to highlight the length. Pn, from P to N. You guys see? That's basically what is it that they want us to calculate. So you must use the trigonometric ratios here. So this side, remember we have 50. So this side to 50, Pn is actually adjacent, right? And then we also have this side here that is opposite to 50, right? So we have adjacent and opposite to 50. So what trigonometric ratio that has adjacent and opposite? So it's tan, guys, right? Tan 50 is the one that has adjacent and opposite, right? So if you can look at this, guys, if you can look at this tan 50, the opposite is what? It's 6. Do you guys see? 6 meters. And then the adjacent, it's actually pn, right? 6 meters, guys, is pm, the one that I circulated there. It is opposite to 50, guys. I hope you can see. So now all you have to do here is cross multiply, guys. Pn is gonna be 6, or 6 divided by tan 50. There we go. Here we use Pythagoras theorem. And then our final answer here, if you use our calculator, it's gonna give us 5,035 meters. Don't forget, these are in meters. I hope you managed to see that one, guys. I hope you managed to see 6.3.1. So that's how you do 6.3.1. So I'm gonna erase again, right? Right, I'm erasing everything, in fact. So we are done with 6.3.1. Let's look at 6.2, 6.3.2. So they want us to calculate the length of ON. Now let me highlight which one is ON. ON is from this point to that point, right? So with ON, guys, we're gonna focus on this triangle. Let me just do this, right? There we go. Oh yeah, let me just raise this. We're gonna focus on this triangle underneath here, guys. This triangle underneath, yeah, we're gonna focus on it. This triangle here that I highlighted with red. Now ON is this side here that we're looking for, guys. In order for you to calculate this, remember, let's start with this triangle. This triangle OPN, it is not a right angle triangle. You cannot use Pythagoras theorem. In other words, you cannot use tan, cos, and sine purely like that. You have to use the laws of sine or the laws of cos. Now, if you don't know those laws, your formula sheet has it. Let's go to your formula sheet on your previous question paper. Here's a formula sheet. If you go to formula sheet, you have to scroll down, and then you will see under trigonometry, here they are. We have under trigonometry, we have all these, right? Let's scroll down. Let's scroll down. Oh, here they are. Here it is. So we're gonna use this one here, guys. Let me just show you very quickly. We're gonna use the cos law, guys. This one here, the cos law. Let me just zoom it very quickly and show you. We're gonna use the cos law because this cos law and sine law, we use them on triangles that are not right angle triangles. So we're going to use this one. A squared minus b squared plus c squared is equaling to 2bc cos a. Right. So let's go back to our formula. Let's go back to our question then. Right. Now, look, it says a squared. All right. So we can say this side here, OP. Let me just rewrite it. Let me just write it. Remember, we're looking for ON, right? ON squared is going to be equaling to OP squared, right? Plus a PN squared, right? PN squared. Oh, PN. We calculated PN before, guys, right? We calculated PN before. I didn't write the value, but I think I still remember the value. Let me just zoom down a bit, guys, so we can have space here. We calculate PN before, right? And then we say minus 2, then you multiply these two. You multiply by OP, right? And PN. And then cos. Now the angle is going to be this one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Guys, we just use the cos law, guys. We just use the cos law. Now, let's continue. OP is the one that is 10, 4. So it's 10, 4. OP is this one, guys, right? PN, we calculated PN before. Oh, let's not forget square. We calculated PN before. The first question here, they said we must find PN, and PN was 5. If I still remember, 5,035, and then we square it there, right? And then there we minus, and then we multiply by 2, multiply by 10, 4, right? Multiply by 5,035, right? Okay, let's create more space, guys. Let's create more space. Let me just erase this, what is appearing there. Guys, don't forget to comment there in the comment section, and don't forget to like as well, right? So multiply by cos 1, 2, 3. So we have to put all of this inside the calculator. Let me put it inside the calculator, guys. Let me see if I'm gonna get the right answer. So ON squared, remember we're still having squared there, it's gonna give us, if I put this inside the calculator, we have 194,11, right? That's it. But we are not looking for ON squared, so we need to square both sides here, guys. Square both sides. So if we square ON, it's gonna be 13,933 meters. So this is our answer for ON, which is 13,933 meters. Guys, I hope you managed to get this one. Really, it was a bit confusing, especially if you don't know about this cos law. Remember, you apply the cos law and the sine law, guys, when you have a triangle which is not a right angle triangle. The Pythagoras theorem, it only works on the right angle triangle, meaning the triangle that has 90 degrees in there, right? Because most people, they get confused with such things, right, people? I hope you are fine. If you have a comment. If you have you have a question, you can also leave a comment in the comment section, guys. Let's continue and let's do the next question. But before I do that, let me just erase this. I hope you managed to understood, guys. You managed to understand, I mean, right? So let's continue. Let's do the next one. Let me just zoom here. Okay, let me zoom. After zooming, we have to do 6.3.3. All right, so 6.3.3, what is it that they want from us there, guys? I assume you guys have the question, by the way. You can download the question from the app, guys. There's an app that has these questions. 6.3.3 say calculate the area of OPN. Well, which one is OPN? Again, OPN is a triangle in there, guys. Is a triangle underneath, guys. The very same triangle that we were busy with. The very same triangle here. Let me just, because I was erasing, the very same triangle, guys. They want us to calculate the area of the triangle underneath OPM. Let me show you. OPN, right? They want us to calculate the area of this triangle. Guys, if the triangle is not, remember, we usually say it's half base height, right? The angle or the area of the triangle, guys, right? But this one here, guys, it's not a, this cannot be, this is not applicable because we don't have a right angle triangle. This is applicable to a right angle triangle, a triangle that has 90 degrees. So this is not applicable. So which formula are we going to use? Again, let me go to the formula sheet. Let me show you the formula that you're going to use here. Oh, while I'm still here, guys, this is the formula that you're going to use. This one here. Hope you can see. It's actually half, right? AB sine C. That's it. Then you'll get the area. If the triangle is not a right angle triangle, you're gonna use that formula there. So let's go back to our question there. So we're gonna use A, right? Now supposed to be half, yeah, but instead of writing AB, we're gonna write OP, right? Multiply by PN, remember, PN, then sine 1 2 3, right? Sine 1 2 3. The reason why we use these is because these are the sides, guys, or the one that we calculated is not there. Let me just write it. It's 5 comma, remember we calculated PN earlier on, guys. It's 5 comma 3 comma 035 meters, by the way, this side. So we're gonna use this side because the angle is there. The reason why we use this angle, if you use the angle between these two sides, you must multiply by them here, right? If we were using, let's say we're using angle here, we're supposed to multiply by the side here and that side there. I hope you guys understand, by the way. Okay, but it's not really that difficult. So let's continue. So we have half, right? What is OP? OP is 10 comma 4, right? Multiplied by, what is PN? PN is 5 comma 035, right? And then sine 1 2 3, or 123. There we go. So you have to put this on your calculator, 123. So let's put this on a calculator. If you put this on a calculator, our area, right? Our area there is gonna give us, let me see, it's gonna give us 21 comma 959 meters squared. That is how you calculate the area there, guys. I hope you managed to understand. This question must be tricky, guys, especially if you don't know much about trigonometry, the angles and the Pythagoras theorem, the sine law and the cos law, guys. It was very, very tricky. Now, if it so happen that you guys don't understand and you want to learn this into depth, I can teach you guys because I have online classes where I teach the chapters, each and every chapter that you see here on our on our question paper that we're busy with. I can teach you guys online, but you need to join this group here. It's a membership, by the way. For N3, we'll have 2 classes per week for 3 hours, and the actual amount of money is there on top there, guys, right? That's where I will teach into details. Usually I just upload, when I upload videos, I upload videos on question papers in certain chapter. I don't go deeper. So here, if you join here, guys, it will be like a class, but it will be online, right? If you're doing N4, or you'll be doing N4 next block or next year, you will be doing, you will have to click on this one for N4 and N5, guys, where I will be teaching the class 3 times a week for 3 hours per session, right? And then one-on-one, then this one depends on the person. But also, if you want me to focus on a certain chapter that you are struggling with, you just join there, guys, right? Remember, this is very affordable as compared to other online sessions. So you can join there, guys, if you really want to improve your results, or if you want to understand how the other chapter have been done. All right, people, let me just continue with the question there, guys. We are done with this question here, guys. We are finished. Let's look at question for 6.4, right? So question 6.4 is a different question on its own. Let me just first erase this one here. 6.4, guys, it's basically a graph, right? So 6.4, let me just zoom it so that you can see, guys, because it doesn't look, or it doesn't look um clear. So 6.4, we have the following. They say consider the function g of x is equaling to 2 cos 2x, right? So the first question, 6.4.1, they say sketch the graph of g of x, which is equaling to 2 cos 2x, for x is the element of 0 degrees and 180 degrees. So this here, guys, is the limit. So it's a domain from 0 degrees to 180. So you never pass from 0 to 180 is the domain, guys. And then they say show the coordinates of the turning point and the intercept with the x axis, right? No problem, we can do that one. So let's create space, guys, then let's draw this graph here. Okay, so the graph, we still remember, let me erase here very quickly. So the graph here, this is what we do. We do this a lot in 4, guys, so it's not much of a challenge. So we know that y is just g of x. Can we say g of x? G of x is equaling to 2 cos 2x. There we go. So guys, when you have the following here, this g of x here, guys, this means that we'll have to draw this graph. So before you draw this graph, guys, let me just highlight some information. The general formula for the trigonometric ratio, I'm gonna use this one, of course, but I'm gonna show you the coefficient. We have a, which is an amplitude, and then we can say cos for now, but this applies to any trigonometric ratio. And then we have the coefficient of x, which is b, right? X, and then we have plus or minus c. This is a shifting of a graph to the left or to the right. And then we have plus or minus d. This is a shifting of the graph whether up or down. But since we are stopping here, since this question is stopping here, guys, since ours stops here, it means now we only have a and b. So b, by the way, is a number of periods within 360. So meaning our a, let me just write here. For this one, our a is 2, and our b is also 2. So I'm going to show you a method, guys, of drawing a cos graph. Very, very simple. First of all, you need to know how a cos graph looks like. Guys, we know that a cos graph looks like this. By the way, if you don't know, this is how a cos graph look like. It's supposed to look like something like this, right? Fine, I hope you know. So but they say we must show the intercept and the turning point. So this cos graph of ours, first of all, we need to find period. So there is a formula for period. Period, it means one full cycle, right? So, oh, let me not forget, our domain is 0 to 180. So we cannot go beyond 180, guys. This is our domain, right? So when you calculate the period, it's simple. It's 360 divided by b. This is how you calculate your period. So 360 divided by b. Our b here is 2, right? And this is going to give you 180 degrees. So one full cycle on one period, it happens within 360. I hope you guys understand. It means one full cycle of a cos graph, it's going to happen within 360, right? This formula here, let me highlight very quickly. It's applicable only for sine and cos, right? And their inverses. If it's not sine or cos or the inverses of those two, you're gonna use a different formula. Basically, I'm saying for tan and cot, you cannot use this formula. It's different, right? So after here, now that we know the period, it's time for us to know the points now, the turning points, in fact, the interval from one point to another. What degrees are we moving with? So the interval is very simple. The formula for this one is going to be period over 4. So our period, we said it was 180 divided by 4. So 180 divided by 4, that will give us 45 degrees. Now with this information, we can able to draw our graph. So simple. So I'm just gonna do it here, guys. Just gonna do it here. Let me just go from here. Just gonna do it here. There we go. And then I will stretch it a little bit here. There we go. I think this is enough. So we're just gonna have 1. There we go. And 2. and then we're gonna have -1. By the way, you'll be using a graph paper. So I don't have a graph paper here, guys. I didn't insert it, so it was gonna be easier if I was using it, but it's fine. I'm gonna try to make sure that everything is fine. So let's look at our intervals, guys. It's 45. So if I can say the first one is gonna be 45, right? The second one is gonna be 90. The third one is gonna be 135, and then the fourth one here is gonna be 180. Guys, you don't go further than this. The reason why we don't go further than this is because look at our domain. It said from 0 to 180. We stop there. Now let's draw our graph. So our amplitude, our graph starts at 2. Remember, a is 2 there, right? So it's gonna cut here at 0 and 45. Do I see? And then it's gonna turn where? At 90 and -2. And then it's gonna cut again where? At 0 and at 135 and 0. And it's gonna turn again where? At 2 and 180. This is the point. So if you draw your graph, let's look at the graph. This is our graph, guys. You guys see 10 here, cuts there, and it turns there. So this is our graph. So basically, this is our graph. Remember, they say we must show the turning point and the intercept. Guys, I would say to you, the turning point, guys, is the one that you should show mostly, because we have 90 and -2. Do you guys see? These ones here, even if you don't show, we know that at this point here, our y is 0, right? Our y is 0. So we know that the intercept here, our y is 0, is gonna be 45 and 0. Okay, 45 and 0. And this one is gonna be 135 and 0, 135 and 0. This point here. The turning point, also, even if you don't write them, I think you should write this one here. The turning point, because this is also turning point. It's 2, it's 180 and 2, and then it's 0 and 2, because look here, our x is 0, guys, right? So you can write this. I think you can write this. It's not a problem. Okay, now we have a comment from Lungile Zwane. Said, afternoon, say, do you know anyone that does engineering science and for life? No, not at the moment. I don't know anyone who's doing N4 live, Lungile Zwane. Unfortunately, when it comes to that one, you are on your own. I know lecturers who are teaching N4 engineering, but live, no, I haven't. I haven't seen it, guys, online. So unfortunately, right. So this is our graph here, right? This is our graph. Now let's go to the next question, which is look at our next question there. We have 6.4.2. Let me zoom in. 6.4.2, guys. 6.4.2. They say here, read off the coordinate of the 2 points. So it's 2 points here on the graph of G, at which 2 cos 2x is equaling to 1. Right. So it's gonna be tricky for me to do this on my graph because I'm not using a graph paper, guys. Right. I am not using a graph paper, but I can calculate it. Let me just zoom down. Basically, they say if you are using a graph paper, here's what they say. They say from your graph paper, where y is 1, remember, they say read off when you have 2 cos 2x is equaling to 1. So this is y. When y is equaling to 1 like that, find the coordinates here, right? Must continue again, find these coordinates here, right? As you can see, the first one here, let me call it x1. The first one here is between 0 and 45, and the second one is between 135 and 180. So I cannot read them here because I'm not using a graph paper, but I can calculate them. So how do I calculate them? Let me just create a space here, guys. Let me just zoom down a bit, guys. Let me just zoom down a bit. So if I'm given 2 cos 2x is equaling to 1. All I have to do here is to find x, right? That's it. So we divide by 2 throughout. Yes, when you divide by 2, we'll be having cos 2x is equaling to half. Do you guys see? And then we say arc cos, right? So arc cos. So we can say cos. Oh, when you say arc cos, we're gonna be having 2x, and this is gonna be cos, or it's gonna be arc cos half. But what is arc cos half, guys? 2x is equaling to arc cos half is gonna give us 60. Let me double check, guys. Let me double check. Arc cos half 0.5 is gonna give us 60. Yes. Now we are looking for x, not 2x, so we divide by 2. So x is gonna give us what? 30. So this is one of the points. When when x is um 30, y is gonna be 1. You can double check by substituting on the original equation, which is 2 cos 2x. If you substitute with 30 degrees here on a calculator, you're gonna get 1. That's for sure. But we need another one. And remember, I said to you, one is between 45 and 0, and the other one is between 135 and 180. So 30 is between 0 and 45. So the other one, to get it, is very simple. Say x, because it's on the second quadrant, guys. Say 180 minus 30. If you say 180 minus 30, this is gonna give you 150. There we go. So this 150 here, it's another point where you can say 150 degrees and 1. If you substitute 150 degrees to the original, 2 cos, remember the original is this. If you substitute 150 here, it's gonna give you 1. So basically, this is how you do this one, guys. I hope you managed to understand, guys. This trig, it's a bit complex. This is N4 stuff. In fact, it's the beginning of N4, and people are struggling when it comes to N4. So you must know your story when it comes to these ones here. I'm hoping, guys, you managed to understand this. I'm hoping this helps you. Good luck with your test tomorrow, guys. Make sure you arrive early, and make sure that you start with the question that you understand the best or the most. Again, guys, if you haven't watched question 1, question 2, question 3, 4, and 5, you can come here on live on our let's start with the channel. You come to this channel, and then you go to live. You click live there. It will take you to all the live videos that I've done, and then you just look at the thumbnails here, guys. Be careful, you must look there. This is the one that we're busy with. This is question 5 there, and this is question 3 and 4. And then as you go down, this is N5, you skip it. This is N3, question 2. And then you go down, you'll come across a lot of N4 here, maths, and then there is a N3 there. Where's our N3? Here's our N3 here, guys, right? Question 1. So you can watch those ones. Again, guys, if you want me to teach you online, where you have to go in depth with each and every chapter that we did on this question paper, the join the membership, guys. Join the membership. If you're doing N3, it's gonna be 30 bucks per month. If you're doing N4, it's gonna be 100 bucks per month. If you want one-on-one engagement, meaning I'll be only focusing on you alone with your specific needs, it's 225 per month, guys, right? So for N3, the classes, there will be 2 for 3 hours in a week, and then for N4 and 5, the classes will be 3 classes per week for 3 hours. And then one-on-one, it's a matter of agreement with the person, because that is specifically for one person. Right, people, good luck with your test.